So in the next session, we will have a presentation, and this presentation is provided by my colleague, Wolfgang Kniejski, who is a senior business creation manager coming from Yeti Manufacturing Central, based in Darmstadt. Wolfgang Kniejski is at the same time our IP management expert, and he's working closely with startups, helping them with the IP valorization and how to, let's say, manage IP rights, what is protectable, what can be protected in what cases, and how to deal with IP when they discuss with investors. Wolfgang began his professional career in 1991 as a finance manager at the Fraunhofer Institute in Darmstadt. In this role, he successfully developed and implemented methods and processes to support the commercialization of technologies for universities and research institutions. As a business angel, he is also investing in several high-tech spin-off companies and is represented on boards of technology transfer organizations around the world. From 2014 to 2019, Wolfgang supported the European Institute for Innovation and Technology with focus on digital in the development of the Business Acceleration Program, where he led the Access to Market team. Since January 2020, he is in addition of our team and quite a valuable colleague. He will talk today on empowering competitive advantages through IP management services. So, Wolfgang, I hope you're on stage and ready to show how you help startups, but also what is important when they deal with IP rights.
Yes, thank you very much, Jasmina, for the great introduction. Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests of this excellent event. As Jasmina said, I'm a senior business creation manager working out of Darmstadt and part of the business creation team. Within business creation, we support scale-ups to internationalize, internationally access investors, internationally access potential customers, going beyond their regional borders and their national borders, just bridging the gaps into the international markets and helping them to grow and to scale. And part of this business development support is IP management support. And with this short presentation, I would like to introduce services like IP protection, IP management, IP valorization. And I would like to provide some insights to showcase how relevant and how important those topics are for successful business development on international scale. And I don't want to do it as a just dry presentation. I want to use an example, a real case out of my more than 25 years of experiences in supporting technology transfer and scaling up companies. It deals with an IP that was generated in one of the huge German R&D organizations. And the developers decided to take their own achievements, which at that time were already protected in Germany through patents, take their own achievements into their own spin-off company. And they did excellent homework. They did market analysis. They thought about productization of the IP. And they decided, okay, we have so big potential in the US market as well as in the mid-European market. So let's start our legal entity in the US, and let's have also a sales agency established in Germany. They negotiated with the owner of the IP, the German R&D organization, and they licensed the IP exclusively into their newly established limited liability corporation headquartered in Delaware in the US. And they granted a non-exclusive sales and commercialization license to their 100% owned branch company, a limited liability, so-called GmbH, in Germany. So the frame was set, and they started to operate their business as a young spin-off organization. And business was growing. Their predictions were good. After only 1 year of operations, they had already 8 employees in the company. They expected revenues of around about €500,000, and they even attracted investment, private investment of €200,000 for 4% equity. Good continuation of the story, but then issues occurred. It turned out that they did not do a freedom to operate analysis before they took their business into the US market. And they were not aware of the fact that there's a different patent philosophy between Europe and the US. It's distinguishing between first date of invention and first date of publication. And when they productized their IP and took the 3 products into the market, they had to experience that they run into a big US corporate that had US patents on the same watermarking technology and that claimed immediately on the basis of their 2 patents this small spin-off company out of the market. It was not just the case that the big US corporate dealt with the spin-off company. It was one of their professional businesses. They had tons of watermarking, digital watermarking patents in their IP portfolio. They were not only making money with selling the products enabled by those technologies, they were also making money by claiming competitors out of the market or by forcing competitors into a licensing scheme. And this is what the spin-off company from the German research organization experienced. They had to take their 2 products out of the 3-product portfolio out of the US market. And they even had to go beyond. They have to consider a totally new legal entity structure. They said, okay, we have to reverse our model. We have to remove our headquarters from the US. We want to stick on our original strategy and sell the 3 different products enabled by the IP. So they had to convert the originally established GmbH into an AG in order to have a mirrored shareholder structure, mirrored to their US entity. And they also had to convert the headquarters from the LLC in the US into the AG in Germany. And they contributed the shares from the LLC to the AG, just reversed the scheme in having the headquarters established in Germany and having the branch organization for sales and for commercialization in the US. It sounds so easy, but can you imagine how much effort was involved? How much sidetracked the management was instead of focusing on sales and growing the company, dealing for a significant time with legal issues? Can you imagine the cost of setting this all up, of reverting organizational structures? Luckily, the story turned back into a positive route. Having this German entity established, having sales initiated, leveraged in the German and mid-European market, they were able to attract an investor for Series A investment. And even 3 years later, the company was totally sold as a technology trade sale business to a French corporate. Luckily, this story was ending positively, but there was a lot of lessons learned. On the one hand, it was shown that IPR provide great opportunities. Opportunities to establish businesses, opportunities to conduct businesses, and opportunities to grow businesses. But on the other hand, they learned that it's important to know more about IP management than just protecting your rights. It's about the valorization. It's about the freedom to operate that you have to analyze and to secure. And they learned that if you do this properly, then IPR become assets. Assets that are securing investments, attracting investments, and generating a return on investment. But they learned also that in order to cash on this return on investment, you have to make an investment on your own first. You have to take money into your hand. You have to cope with costs that are related to foster your IP management. But this was absolutely needed, and this is needed for high-tech based, deep tech based startup companies. You have to sharpen your swords against competitors. But you have to be aware at the same time that third parties sharpen their swords against you. And this is why we think that IP management, in terms of protection, operational management, valorization, is very relevant and very important for startups and for SMEs. We are happy to support our portfolio companies, being it startups, scale-ups, SMEs, or being it technology transfer projects into spin-offs from universities. We are happy to support our portfolio companies with creation and management of IP. We want to open eyes that we are not only talking about patents, that design protection may be relevant, that trademark generation may be relevant. IP helps you to exploit your invention successfully in the market. But IP is also needed as a defense strategy against maybe even protected competitors. IPs are assets. They help you to promote investments. They reduce the risk of investors, and they help you to generate income. But it's even more. A proper IP strategy helps you in branding your company, branding your products. Did you ever think about trademarking, registering copyrights? You see, there's a full picture of IP management, and you can look at this IP management issues with two different types of glasses. The one glass is considering the protection of your own IP, building your IP portfolio, creating the assets, and valorizing. But the other set of glasses you should put up to protect yourself, not violating other IP in the market, and sharpening your swords against competitors. This is where our support philosophy adds on. EIT Manufacturing Business Creation Team is prepared to foster your values through IP management services. We apply those services along the entire value generation chain. What do you have as IP assets? We help you identifying your assets, how to protect those assets and create your IP, how to include IP valorization into your business models, maybe caching licenses, royalties as continuing income streams, and just create a sustainable business also through IP management. When we as business creation support team look at your IP portfolio, we take really the portfolio point of view. We look at patents, at designs, at trademarks, at copyrights. We brainstorm how to plan your protection of IP, or maybe this can be co-financed with governmental support programs, and how this can be taken into a business. And I have to say, we are not lawyers. We are not legal advisors, but we are the networking partners. We are those that know the lawyers and the legal advisors. And we help you to contact them and to find the right people to take you together with us through the jungle of IP management. This is how we create values for you, for your customers, making your customers applying your technologies. This is how we help to establish your business models or take them further into other revenue streams. How we help you to make your IP enabling your income and taking you finally into financial sustainability. This is our IP support philosophy. And for this reason, we are there to help you. Just contact us. We are keen to understand your IP challenges and to take you forward. Thank you very much. And again, congratulations, Jasmina, for this big event. And as you know, I'm always there to answer questions of any kind.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang. It was a quite interesting presentation. IP management is quite relevant for startups, especially the ones dealing with innovative technologies and deep tech. So it was a really nice roundup today. And I would like to announce again Hannes Hanchowski, our CLC director, to wrap up and close the BoostUp event, and see you tomorrow for the pitching.
Thank you so much, Jasmina. I really appreciate it. Put your hands together for Jasmina. She did an excellent job walking us through the BoostUp